Dirty Old Sim here, and welcome to episode 4 of CFB Shenanigans. Once again, you got Dirty Old Sim here hosting, and to bring you up to speed, we are doing a CFB26 dynasty rebuild of the Rice Owls. As we can see from the previous episode, Rice took a shellacking from the Memphis Tigers, 51-3. However, Coach McFlea is very confident that this is just a minor setback and that we will just continue to keep going forward and moving on to the next week. So let's begin. We'll just move the cursor down and hit advance week. Sim ahead to week 1 as the wheels go round and round and round. And look at this. Davion Hook, Sunbelt Defensive Player of the Week versus Memphis. 9 tackles with a defensive tackle for loss. You gotta love it. Moving right along. Week 1 matchup will be Rice going to Lafayette for the Ragin Cajuns. And the Sunbelt scores and games coming up. And the week 0 results. Only thing other than Rice and Memphis was James Madison at Texas State, where Texas State edged out James Madison 34-33. We're going to look at the SEC scores. Georgia over Charlotte. Oklahoma over Michigan. West Virginia over Houston. Houston just joining the SEC. Texas A&M over Missouri, 38-35. UCF over Baylor. Look at that, 23-14. Another new SEC entry. Miami puts a shellacking on SMU, and TCU gets edged out by Brigham Young. So I think the SEC play in this rebuild league is going to be exciting. So let's take a look at the top 25. Well, that went pretty quick. Let's take a look at the top 25 here. Got Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon, Clemson, LSU, Alabama, and Illinois wrapping up the top 10, along with South Carolina, Miami, Arizona State, Michigan, Florida, Kansas State, Iowa State, Ole Miss, SMU, Texas A&M, Indiana, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Brigham Young University, and rounding out the top 25, Texas Tech at the bottom. All right. Here's another look at the top 25. On the Heisman watch, favorite is Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, with Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, along with Jordan Tyson and Garrett Nismeyer. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the season. And on that note, we'll step into recruiting. As you can see, there are no recruiting hours for week 1. So we're taking a look at our number 1 targeted recruit, Tucker England, as Coach McFlea has decided to upgrade the line to a 3-star line. And as you can see, Rice is his number 1 right now, with TCU actually offering. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take away the send the house, and we're going to schedule him a visit. And I think we'll just have him come during the Colorado State game, since they seem to be a higher tier opponent. And we'll just bring his family and friends, you know. because he values the proximity to home. Katy, Texas isn't too far from Houston. So why not? Let's have the whole family come and visit. We'll take the points or the hours and try to do a hard sale. Oh, oops. We don't have the 40 hours. So we have to settle for a sway. And we'll give him a shot at proximity to home, conference prestige, and championship contender. Nah, I don't think so. We'll go with the program tradition and the stadium atmosphere, even though neither one of them are very good. And it may not make any difference. So we'll see if we can get him on the grassroots traditionalist. Because as it stands right now, we really don't have a lot to offer him. So we'll throw in, to even the hours out, we'll throw in a little social media thing to add a little bit more sway, hopefully. And we'll move on. We'll take a look at the other targeted recruits for 3-star. Just a couple of tackles and guards. There's a fullback I want to get, but we'll have to approach him at a later time. We're out of hours, and well, it doesn't look like anybody's rejected us yet. You never know. So we'll go ahead and exit recruiting for this week, and we will move forward to the Louisiana Cajuns. Top stories. Oh, Rutgers over Illinois, 50-48. Wonder how that will affect that number 10 ranking. We'll take a look next episode. LSU and Clemson. That'd probably be a good game. So let's see what else we got here. So we'll just go ahead and proceed to Lafayette, Louisiana, and the Ragin Cajuns. As you can see, the Ragin Cajuns is slightly a better team. I don't expect to win this one, but you never know. Going to use a different playbook than I did last game. We'll see how that works out. Still going to go with the multiple defense. So one thing I do want to mention is that I'm using a different set of sliders than I did last week. I've imported Popboy's sliders. You can find them at Popboy Game Labs on YouTube. I'll include a link to his YouTube channel in the description. And hope these work out a little bit better than they did last time. Than the previous sliders, I mean. Anyway, I'm going to scroll down and show you guys the rest of them. You can go to his video and he'll explain to you why he's got everything set the way he does. But I will say this, the game does feel a little bit better. We'll see how it all works out. And on that note, we'll show the league settings here real quick as a quick reminder. Playing on Heisman, 12-minute quarter length, 15-second play clock time minimum. So wear and tear on, accelerated clock on, and all the usual stuff. So on that note, we'll continue. We'll go to Lafayette after we scroll down the rest of the sliders. And let's go to Lafayette. Bring it through. And there's the screen again. And let's head to Lafayette. Beautiful day for football in Lafayette, Louisiana. As we see both of the teams come out. Cheerleaders just checking them out. Ragin Cajuns. And even Coach McFlea is checking them out. Chase Jenkins coming out after the shellacking he took the previous week. And here is the initial Rice drive. First down. Jenkins goes back, gives it to Balthazar. Balthazar gets 2. Second down. Just checking things. And gives to Balthazar again. Balthazar runs into his own man and gets stuffed. Third down. Going to try a little spider mesh here. Jenkins checking things out. Play action. And there's Jordan Lawson. And that's it for the Rice initial drive. And Rice has to punt. First down, Louisiana. Howard Walker at the calling the signals. Quarterback steps back. And the Rice defense steps up. Incomplete pass. Second down. Howard gives to Bill Davis, who loses a yard there. Andrew All on the tackle. 3rd and 11 for Louisiana. Walker goes back and finds Caden Jensen down on the 33 for a Louisiana first down. Very next play, Walker on an RPO to Robert Williams, who gets about 6 there. 5. A few plays later, after some hard grinding by Perry and Davis, Davis gets a pitch to the outside and goes all the way. Touchdown, Louisiana. Salute to the crowd, and the extra point is good. Following drive on a 2nd and 10, Jenkins goes back and finds tight end Micah Barnett for Ray of Hope there. Big gain. Jenkins to Micah Barnett for a 46-yard gain, and he's doing the first down celebration, and who can blame him? Here, we'll take another look at that. Heck, Cajun fans aren't liking that one. Chase Jenkins just found him and hit Micah Barnett, and Barnett gets about 30 yards after the catch. Awesome play, but unfortunately the drive fizzles out after that. Walker to tight end Quandre Coates a few plays later. 29-yard pass there. But the Rice Owls stand firm, and Louisiana has to settle for a field goal. Kind of a little moral victory there for the Rice Owls. See, even the Cajun cheerleaders like it. Cajun ball with 1:56 left in the half. On the Rice 12-yard line, Walker goes back and finds Zillan Perry in the corner. Touchdown, Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. But hold on. This half ain't quite done yet. Last second of the first half, and the Owls find themselves on the Louisiana 17-yard line. Chase Allen lining it up, and it is good. A Rice field goal on the last play of the first half. So the score after the first half is the Ragin Cajuns 17 and Rice 3. Neither team able to run the ball very effectively, but the Cajuns do have 200 passing yards. So on that note, let's go to the second half. Rice ball on the 38-yard line. And Jenkins goes back and finds Jerome Dawkins wearing a red jersey for the Cajuns, who goes back all the way for a 42-yard pick six touchdown for the Ragin Cajuns. Extra point is good, and these Rice fans just can't believe the woes of the Rice Owls. Rice ball on the Cajun 5. Minute 40 left in the third quarter. And Jenkins finds fullback Landon Bryers for the first Rice touchdown of the season. And Landon Bryers gives the crowd a big Rice salute. How about that? Unfortunately, the point after is no good, so the score remains 24-9. Tavon Byers got his name wrong, sorry. But beautiful Rice touchdown. Well into the fourth quarter now. Louisiana goes back to Sheldon Sampson for another Cajun touchdown. As Sheldon Sampson does a little dance there in celebration, that would probably get him a flag in the NFL. But the Cajun fans don't care. Extra point is good. And there's another look at it. Howard would finish the day with 329 yards and 2 touchdowns. But just when you thought it was over, the Cajuns aren't done yet. Bill Davis breaking a tackle and going all the way for a 43-yard rushing touchdown. Davis would have 86 yards on the day on 15 carries with 2 touchdowns himself. And just to pour a little salt in the wound, the Cajuns kick a field goal on their following possession, and it all leads to this. Rice ball on their own 18, Patrick Creighton Jr., and he gets picked! Picked by Curly Reed III, who takes it back for a 6. And that's the final nail in the coffin of the Rice Owls for week 1. 48-9 is your final. And the Rice Owls will have to continue the hunt for answers. But still, there were moments where the Owls did show signs of improvement. It just looks like it's going to be a week-to-week grind for Rice at this point. And fingers crossed that the recruiting will come through for them so they can be a better team next year. Still, there were signs of improvement from the Rice Owls this week. Against Memphis, they put up 189 yards of passing. And this week, or total offense, my bad. And this week, they produced 254. I think one of the telling tales of this week is that last week the Rice Owls gave up 405 yards of passing, and this week they only gave up 177. So there's been some improvements in the defense. And also, if I'm reading this right, the Rice Owls held Louisiana to 68 yards of rushing. So there's some improvement there. Did it result in a win? No. But definite signs of improvement. It looks like the 2 weak spots for Rice so far is the O-line and the secondary. But it looks like we have had improvement in both. Walker Howard for the Cajuns had a phenomenal day. 329 yards for 2 touchdowns. Chase Jenkins, he's getting better. 156 yards thrown with 1 touchdown, 51% completion. And unfortunately, Patrick Creighton got in there and tossed an interception, and Chase Jenkins finished with the same amount of interceptions he had last week, 3. So I don't think we're ready for a quarterback battle yet, but don't be surprised if Patrick Creighton starts a couple of games coming up. Max Balthazar rushed for 56 yards, 17 attempts. He averaged 3.2 a carry. Tavon Byers, the only touchdown for the Rice Owls today. 5 carries for 21 yards, averaging 4.2. And Chase Jenkins managed to stay on the positive side and ran for 4 yards. So I'll just say it probably need a little improvement in the O-line and the run blocking. Receiving core, Micah Barnett had 94 yards. And Turner behind him for 47, and Balthazar wound up with 25 yards receiving out of the backfield. So we got something going on. Play Wyatt with 3 sacks today, 9 tackles, and forced fumble that resulted in a turnover. Oh, that was Jordan Campbell, excuse me. So anyway, we'll go ahead and return to the hub, and we get another level for Coach McFlea. He's up to 2. Level 2, that is. And we'll go into recruiting and spend our coins into our abilities. We'll go to recruiter. If it can get over there. There we go. And we're going to put those coins into the secondary and the receiving, I believe. Yes, we're going to put 8 into secondary and 8 into receiving. So Coach McFlea is now a level 2 coach, and I think that's going to wrap things up. So our final score is Louisiana 48 and Rice 9. Coach McFlea is now 0-2 as we move on to a bye week and the FCS Rebels in week 4. We'll see you in the next episode. This is Dirty Old Sims saying peace out.